Hey, I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday, January 12th. Here are some facts you may or may not have known about my album Sleep. The date, Thursday, January 12th, actually means nothing at all. That just happens to have been the day that I written that song. It is true, for years I was in a relationship with somebody whose birthday happened to have been on January 12th, and that was an adorable coincidence. I had actually written the song about a year before I had met them. It was originally released in 2012 independently on cassette and came with those patches. Does anybody remember those? Here are the patches. It still blows my mind that I have these, but the reason that I released the album independently is because no fucking label wanted it at all. When the album was done, I sent out about 100 emails to review sites and to labels to see if anybody wanted to review it or release it or anything like that. And these weren't just copy and paste emails. I mean, I sat there and I personally typed to these labels, to these review sites, and sent them their own individual email. And out of those emails that I sent out, I got a whopping total of 0 response from any indie label and 1 response from a very small review site that didn't end up publishing the post. And believe me, at this point, I have so many strangers hitting me up every day asking me to help them with their art, and it's not my responsibility. It wasn't their responsibility to help me with this. In fact, at this point in my life, given how I feel about labels today, I think back to that and I'm just happy. It's a blessing in disguise. I don't think I'd be living off my stuff today if that hadn't happened. Speaking of things that happened for a reason, the Sleep album cover was originally supposed to be illustrated by an artist called Jay Morrison, who worked with the band Shoo Shoo. I was a huge fan of the band growing up, so I reached out to him, asked if he wanted to work together. He said yes, but eventually just stopped replying to my emails altogether, and I was crushed. So I wiped the tears off my little 21-year-old face and said, you know what, I'm gonna draw it myself. And I traced this image of me in high school, and that became the Sleep illustration. And since then, I have seen this so many times on the internet. I've seen this illustration of me tattooed on people's bodies. That still blows my fucking mind. Here's another one. I was so discouraged after releasing Sleep that I had originally planned to take a giant break from Flat Sound after releasing the album. I never planned on going away on the internet or posting little songs here and there, but when it came to full-length albums I worked really hard on, I just told myself I wasn't going to do it anymore, which is why the world has not seen a proper Flat Sound full-length album since Sleep. You've seen EPs and songs and even side projects, but not a full-length since. Here's a quick fact that no one's really going to care about, but I care about as an artist because I like to see the progression of how things grow. Sleep actually started out as a very, very quick EP I was going to put out. That's generally how all of my larger projects come about. I can never do anything quickly. I say, oh, okay, I have this quick idea. It'll be like half sound, half songwriting. I'll do the sound first, then I'll do the songwriting. No. I'll do the songwriting first, and then I'll do the sound, and it'll be like two-sided. So, okay, so if I release it on a cassette and people could actually flip it over, and then when they flip the cassette, it'll be like they can fall asleep to that. Okay, sleep. I'll do, the whole album will be like subtly referencing the idea of sleep, which I've always struggled with. And that's how it grows, and it continues to grow. And then this idea that you watered and nurtured every single day kind of blossoms into something much bigger than you ever thought it would be. And I feel extremely fortunate because even after I was done, it continued to grow. And then people found it and they connected with it. And then they continued to connect with it. And then it continued to grow. So the last fact that I'm going to share about Sleep is a weird one, and it's that I knew that this was going to happen. I just didn't know when. I knew that the album was special, at least to me. To me, the album was extremely special, so there have to be other people out there, right? There have to be other people out there like me. And I was so discouraged that nobody even gave it a chance. No review site ever did. And I would write constantly. You can see here in old notebooks. That's a notebook from 2012. I was just writing stuff. I was writing to the universe every day because I knew that I had something, I just didn't know what. I knew that it meant more than what I was getting back. Them are really personal, so I'm just going to block them out, but it does say stuff like Sleep is an incredible success, positive reviews, exposure, etc. These are all things that I told myself were going to happen even after they weren't happening. It's a really confusing thing because outwardly to my friends I'd be like, oh, I'm really disappointed, I'm probably not going to do another album for a long time, but on the inside I'd be like, you're going to do that, you have to do this, what the fuck are you talking about? And at the same time, outwardly, I would be like, oh, the labels don't want me. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I guess I'll start my own label, but that's not working out. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But on the inside, I would be like, fuck labels anyway. This is too personal to me. They would just get in the way. This is between me and the people that I'm reaching. No one else. I just want to make it clear that I'm talking about signing away to a label. This vinyl was released by Broken World, an amazing little label, but I still own all the rights to Sleep. When you buy Sleep on Bandcamp, that goes to me. When you buy it on iTunes or listen to it on Spotify, that goes to me. I'm so proud of that. I never signed away that album. In fact, the only reason that this was released through another label is that they were doing me a favor and I couldn't afford it at the time. Now that I can, thanks to you, every release since then has been between me and you. So I guess what I'm trying to say, now that it is dark and it's grainy and it looks very cool in my room, is thank you. Thank you so fucking much for finding the album. I don't know how you found it, because God knows it wasn't through a label or some promotional campaign, or it wasn't on the radio or anything, but you found it, and thank you so fucking much for finding it. And in the dumbest, most you're gonna make fun of me for it later kind of way, I do feel like you were meant to find it. I feel like if you found it all on your own and you connected with it, I mean, don't you? Don't you feel like things drift into your life when you need them the most? And don't you feel like those things mean that much more to you because of it? That's what I love about Flat Sound. So, and I know I say this a lot, but I mean it, thank you. Thank you so much for finding Flat Sound and for listening to Sleep and making it all a part of your day somehow. It has honestly changed my life. I mean, I think about the shitty place that I was in and how bad that I was, how bad my anxiety was, my depression and my panic attacks. And I couldn't go to therapy because I couldn't afford it. And I think back to everything that I wrote about in that notebook and where I am now. And I really do mean it. You guys changed my fucking life. Thank you.